Everyone, welcome back to this channel. A lot of people have been criticizing the decision that Tinubu made by suspending Fubara. Ugochinyere has come out to say that Tinubu has no power to suspend Fubara, that Fubara is a leader who was elected by the citizens of Rivers State. Him suspending Fubara means that Tinubu has no respect for the National Assembly. Anyway, guys, I don't want to talk too much. I want you guys to hear and watch what Ugochinyere said about the decision that Tinubu has made. Guys, I'll be right back. Take a look at this video.
I will speak on two angles: legal angle, political angle, and if possible, emotional angle. First, the president has powers to declare emergency to restore security. That power we are not contesting is clear under Section 305. Whether there have been enabling environment that warrant the declaration is a subject of debate.
Yes.
But the president does not have power to suspend a democratically elected governor, deputy governor, and a democratically constituted House of Assembly, despite our differences. Neither does the president have powers to appoint an administrator. Listening to the president saying, I hereby appoint that, I say, where are you coming from? It's like somebody, because there's insecurity in the country, maybe somebody from the minute he takes over government and we're discussing on the legitimacy of it. And secondly, the president now went further, where he now, from nowhere, invoked a power that he does not have, to now usurp the powers of the National Assembly under Section 11 to make laws when the State Assembly breaks down and they cannot make laws. That Section 11 sub 4 said in a situation where the State Assembly cannot function, for whatever prevailing reason in that state, we make the law, we make the regulation. But the president now insulted us by bypassing that our constitutional power and then saying that the Federal Executive Council will ratify the resolutions made by the administrator. Who is the administrator? Is unknown to law. So how does he make regulation? And we're talking about the people of a state, a sovereign arm of the federating unit, not an arm of the federal government.
This proclamation is coming before should come before the National Assembly. So what do we expect?
For me, I can only speak for myself. Of course, I will oppose it. I will oppose it because, one, the president have no powers to suspend a democratically elected leader from office. Even under that section that gives us power, under 11, to make laws for the governance of a state where the State Assembly cannot work, forbids us from removing the governor or the deputy governor. Because a governor holds a secret sovereign mandate that comes directly from the people, that can only be taken by impeachment or incapacitations or death. The very moment, and again, remember in 2013, when President Ugochinyere declared emergency in Borno, Yoruba, and Adamawa, Tinubu was one of the people who vehemently resisted it and said that it is a dangerous trend that portends danger for democracy and that is diabolic. And because of that, he opposed it even when the governors of that state, including his VP today, Shetima, was the governor of Borno State, he was in office. So we are saying that if you allow a president, wake up, a democratic president, who used to be a Democrat, suddenly inviting the military to take control of a government of a state undemocratically because he declared an emergency. Okay, today, is there a crisis in Rivers now? Are people dying on the street? Is there imminent danger? That we saw smokes from one pipeline that we didn't see whether it was broken. Was enough for Mr. President to rush to declare emergency? If the president wanted to be honest, he could have also told, when the governor called for a peace meeting, did those lawmakers come? No. When he went to present budget, did they open the gate? No. When he even wrote them for presentation today, did they open the gate? No. The president did not even mention those things in his speech. He was busy lambasting the governor, since the governor is an appointee of the federal government. So that makes us have this feeling, some of us in opposition, that is biased. And that is why we are saying it's very simple. There are certain things. If you remember the foundation of parliament all over the world after the French Revolution in 1776 or thereabout, that is about limiting the powers of the king that was in excess at that moment. That if that indeed is the power today, then there are some things we need to separate the issue. Section 305, powers of the president to declare emergency, not in that. But the president have no powers to suspend a democratically elected governor and deputy governor, and does not also have power to suspend a constitutional House of Assembly. I may not like that House of Assembly, but the president have no power to suspend them. And then the president does not have power to appoint a sole administrator. Neither does he have power to say that a democratically elected leader should be out of office for 6 months. Why 6 months? Is there war in that place? Is there bombing now going on now? There was nothing that warranted it. Of course, he should head to court. I'm not going to speak for him. But some of us believe that it should not only be tested in court, and it should also be resisted. So, for me, There's no way, even with a gun on my head, that I will vote in support of that, because I can't defend it to my children that a democratic president will wake up and suspend a democratic governor and a democratic House of Assembly, appointed an administrator, and then go further to say that the powers to make regulation, he's not donating the power. Where did he get that power to donate? That the administrator will make regulation, and that the administrator will send the regulation to him, because he is the one that runs the Presidency Council. Then he will make veto or ratify the regulation. So where does this leave us as lawmakers? Under Section 11, if the State Assembly cannot function as a result of crisis in that State Assembly, the power to make laws for that State Assembly reverts to National Assembly. So there's no way I can vote. There's no way I can vote that my power as a lawmaker to make regulation when the State Assembly of a state is not functioning should be donated to the Federal Executive Council. So the president suspends a sitting governor in office, appoints an administrator, and then makes regulation for that state, and then oversights the administrator, and then National Assembly goes to sleep. I don't think I will vote for that, and that's why I'm speaking for myself, that I'm not going to vote for that. And I believe that any lover of democracy and constitutional governance would definitely not vote in support of that. This, yes, might offer peace, an opportunity for peace. Anything that will make peace to return to Rivers State, will support that. But at the same time, we cannot tie ourselves to lay the foundation for constitutional crisis in the country in the long run, that anybody can suspend it. Even the parliament can be suspended under one guise or the other. So the limitation, there must be limitations, and that is why I said the condition: nobody can take control of any section of this country, any government of this country, without the democratically conditions spelled out in the Constitution. So if you look at the provision in Section 11, that power to make regulation or make laws where a state assembly is not working rests with the National Assembly. If you also look at Section 305, there is no place where he gathers the power for him to go and then remove a sitting governor, appoint a administrator, and then make regulation for that state.
Now, how do you explain the fact that the leadership of the National Assembly was at that meeting where that decision was taken?
That is why I said parliamentary business, consultation is allowed. So if he consulted some people, fine and good. It's good that he consults. So when you finish consulting, they will brief for. That is why if you go to our rule book, before emergency declarations can be considered, we go into executive session. So I believe that whatever that must be discussed in that their consultation, when we go into executive session tomorrow, they will brief us on what he told them, so we can see from their own angle. So when we are seeing from the angle of the leadership, we'll merge it with the provisions of the Constitution. Bear it in mind that before you can make that consideration, the parliament must be properly constituted with two-thirds.
A lot of people have been saying that the president has no right to unseat Fubara, that there is nowhere in the Constitution where it was written that the president has the right to unseat a governor, that the president can actually declare a state of emergency. That one is fine and very, very clear, but not to unseat someone who people voted, like they voted for him, and you have the right to unseat him. A lot of people are saying that Wike is the one fueling Tinubu in what to do. He's the one fueling him, giving him the advice to unseat Fubara. Now, just take a look at what is happening in Rivers State. Army has taken over, military has taken over. And a lot of people, the Ijaw people are coming and say they don't like the way military has taken over in Rivers State. That is what they are saying. The Ijaw people are now coming out to attack Tinubu, saying that Tinubu wants to just bring war in Rivers State because they will never accept the suspension of Fubara or the removal of Fubara. Anyway, guys, that's all we have for today. Let me know your thoughts below. What do you really think about all this happening in Rivers State? Guys, let me know your thoughts below. And also, if you know you're new to this channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button, like and share, and turn on the notification button to get all the latest news in this channel. So guys, thanks for watching.